I definitely became a fan of Sons of Anarchy. I didn't watch it while it was airing, but when I heard about Mayans, I knew Sons of Anarchy was just a massive show and I wanted to be a part of it, but it was in my research of Sons of Anarchy. I was just going to watch the first episode. I ended up binge watching all 7 seasons within a matter of days, and it just, my desire to be a part of it just intensified. I just really wanted to be a part of that franchise and part of Kurt Sutter's storytelling. I think there was definitely a lot of challenges in playing this character. I think for me, the greatest challenge was just really, you know, keeping things contained. A lot of the work that I had done before, you know, and maybe it was my lack of understanding of the craft, but there was a lot of speaking, a lot of verbal. You open up the script and you get your dialogue and you think it's about the lines, but because they do have to be said. The writers write them, I have to say them. But what I love about Easy and the challenge that I faced was, how do I communicate without saying those lines? And that is where I feel like I really grew as an artist. That was very difficult, but you know, something that I just was really ready for. And you know, I just think that in a way it was all easier than I thought. And I just think that that speaks to, sometimes you just don't trust yourself. You don't give yourself enough credit that you're capable of doing those things. You know, I always felt like I was capable, but it's one thing feeling that and actually doing it. And so for me, I was surprised at the end of it, just even though it was a lot of work and it was very challenging, just how easy I just went with it. Yeah, that for me, that was the core. That was the heartbeat of this character. I felt like leading up to this that a lot of, you know, for me, the challenge was because people were already making comparisons to Jax Teller. And, you know, Jax Teller was very charismatic. And he could be, because he was the vice president. He was the prince of charming of this kingdom. And Easy is not that. Easy is not supposed to be a part of this world. And so for me, I have to find why. Why, just having that heartbeat, understanding if I can get into that, that will separate myself and I'll be able to tell my own story. And what I really wanted to focus on was the fact that I've seen a lot of characters, even in Sons of Anarchy, they go to prison and then they come out and they're still the same character. And so for me, I wanted to focus on the reality, the effect that prison has on somebody. Because you can't go into the military for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and come out and then not walk a certain way, not look at life a certain way. And that's what I feel like happened to Easy. So for me, I watched a lot of prison documentaries. I watched these human beings just change within the years that they were in there. And then I talked to people who were on probation and people who came out of prison and just how difficult life was for them. And even though, you know, like Elgin James, who's our co-creator, he served time. And one thing that he and I talked a lot was about triggers. As a man coming out of prison, you're trying not to get back into prison. But at the same time, you have these buttons that it's like people push around you. And there's a part of you that wants to act on it, but you can't. So how can I communicate that with the eyes? You know, it's like I really wanted to show with the eyes that I was being pushed, but that I was going to remember it, even though I wasn't going to do something about it right now. Yeah, I think that, you know, for me, you know, I've always felt a responsibility in the characters that I play, and this one especially, because the Sons of Anarchy show is a massive worldwide successful show, and the fans are very loyal, and the Sons of Anarchy fans are the reason why we were here. So I feel a responsibility to give them everything that I have so that they're entertained, so that they are interested, they're intrigued by these characters and by the story. So I've always felt that responsibility, and I think that just, especially now, given the time and so much awareness has been put on the Latino community and them being underrepresented in Hollywood, even though I've never approached my work that way, I've never looked at myself as I'm checking off a certain box or I'm here representing the Latinos. If you want to do that, I think you should enter politics or whatever that is. I'm an artist. But with that said, understanding today, understanding the fight that the Latino community is going through, it is a responsibility, and I have to respect that. I have to honor that and understand that that my work isn't just for myself. It's also in hopes of opening doors for other Latino actors. Yeah, we work well together. We are all united, and we became close fast. I think that we all embody this just gratefulness. We feel blessed to be a part of this show. We feel blessed that Fox has chosen us to carry on the torch for the Sons of Anarchy in this new story with the Mayans. So we just, a big part of my character has been the physicality, and I've had to put on a lot of weight for the show. So we have, they were giving me weights to work out on set, and I just said, you know what, just put it in front of my trailer, let's put a tent, let's put all these weights under there, and it's something that we could all do. So I have been told that it's like the prison yard, when people come on set, we're all just working out with shirts off, things that we're saying to each other, we're like brothers. And then when they say it's time to go, we're in it, and so that just creates this bond with us. We hold each other accountable. We play hard, but we work hard, and that comes first.